Good morning, my son. Have you begun your tasks for the day?
Good morning, Mother. At present I've taken the liberty of handling the more pressing affairs, yes, and attending to the matters of my studies. But it seems too fine a day to spend it all indoors.
Indeed. What a perfectly beautiful day. Perhaps a ride along the northern side of the woods is in order.
A hunting party? Oh, how dreadfully wonderful!
Nay, I was thinking a simple feast will do, to celebrate the beauties of the spring days ahead. We'll gather those within the castle and head out to dance and drink and enjoy the merriment of their company.
A fine idea! I shall go and ask Father to join us, and Trumpkin and Drinian as well.
Provided your father is not busy with the current state of political affairs, son, of course. Go on, ask him, and I shall arrange for the servants to prepare us a great meal.
Yes, Mother, I'll join you shortly. Come along, Coal Black. Ride on. Yah!
Slow down, Prince Rillian. The food is in no hurry to spoil, I assure you.
Perhaps not, Drinian, but just feel that spring breeze. Isn't it wonderful? It just makes one want to fly like the great griffins in the sky.
Go on, son. We're right behind you.
Aye. How about here, Mother? Isn't it simply a beauty to behold?
Truly, the glade is rather peaceful, and there's ample of space. It is a perfect choice.
Aye, I couldn't agree more, your majesties. I'll help set out the blankets for the food with the others.
And I shall help too. Come, Mother, have a dance with me.
Certainly.
Hey, and you too, Drinian. Come and dance.
Nay, your highness. I believe I'll simply drink my spiced wine and have some mutton.
'Tis a shame.
Bah! Enjoy yourselves, your highness.
Woo! Sorry, 2 left feet. Woo! Woo! Go on, Mother, yes! Woo! Woo! Woo!
My queen, you look a little weary. Is everything all right?
Yes. Simply I find myself worn down from the excitement.
Then perhaps let us return hither to the castle, my lady. After all, we have lingered in the glade for quite some time now.
Oh, but it is such a waste yet, Captain. The day is hardly over. Perhaps I'll lay down if you don't mind, and let my son linger a little while longer.
I suppose we can tarry for a while yet, my queen. Ho! You there! Her Highness has grown weary. Now come and spread cloaks for our queen to rest her head upon.
Do you feel unwell, Mother? We can carry on back to Cair Paravel if you wish.
Not at all, Rillian. I'm simply going to rest for a moment. Go and enjoy what remains of the party. Do not fret over me.
All right then. Come, Drinian. Let's allow my mother to rest and take the party further down towards the fountain. I wouldn't wish to disturb her.
Very good, my prince.
He reminded himself of the stories he once heard, of all the old Narnians, all the animals that were neglected and banished, and how they should be treated as equals. My father was always a love for all life, and this battle proved it more than any other. He stood valiantly, and no matter how many scars he gained, he propelled himself on and on. And so, then, Prince Caspian, the rightful king of Narnia, was faced in Miraz Castle. He was there with all these enemy soldiers gathered around him, wanting him dead, but he did not back down. He stood there with King Peter and Susan, and he was there, hacking away. He said to himself very boldly, for strength, I'll take you all on. He didn't need to proclaim this like any other warrior would. He knew for a fact that he was right, and just by saying these words to himself, he had the great strength of Aslan himself, and he propelled himself forward, hacking away at his enemy soldiers in the name of Narnia, for all the old Narnians to gain their rightful place. He was truly the rightful king of Narnia in that moment, the defining moment of my father's rise to power.
Aye. Your father has told me of such a tale many a time.
How wonderful, my prince. Your father's tales are so amazing. What other ones do you know? And which is one of your favorites?
Personally, I love the story about the time that my father faced down the White Witch herself. You see, the wicked dwarf Nickabrick teamed up with a hag and werewolf to bring her back, and then High King Peter burst in with his brother Edmund, and my father stared directly at the White Witch. She was a sight to behold. Her enchantments were too strong, but my father stood his ground, and he resisted with all his might. Even when he felt himself swaying, he reminded himself that he was the rightful king, and he would not budge to the will of the witch. His will was far greater. Aslan stood with him in that moment. Mother! Mother! What happened,
Quickly, to the Queen's aid!
Rillian, shh.
Your Majesty.
Drinian, look. A great serpent.
Your Majesty, we must hurry to your mother.
Mother? Oh, great Aslan, please. Spare her.
Rillian, come hither.
Mother? What is it?
Come hither.
Mother. Mother, please, don't.
I
Mother? Mother? Mother?
You must return to Kelparavel. The king must know his wife has died.
Mother! That serpent will pay, Mother. Make no mistake, I will find it. I will avenge you.
Young prince, I must implore you to cease these voyages into the woods. They'll do no good for your health, and your father needs you by his side. The burial is today, my prince.
It is for that very reason, Drinian, that I shan't give up. The serpent is out there, I know it lingers, and one day I shall cut off its head.
I know you're grieving. I know this pains you. But please, your highness, for today, give up this fool's errand. Your highness, for today, please.
Excuse me.
Your majesty.
Yeah! Ride on, coal black, ride! For the honor of my mother's memory, I must find that monstrous beast!
Oh my goodness! Your Majesty! Lord Drinian was looking for you, and.
Excuse me. I wish to retire to my bedchambers.
Oh, yes indeed. Your Majesty. Forgive me.
Fool's errand! Mother!
Headed out for another ride this evening then, sire.
Hello, Sir Drinian. For whom it may concern, I am. But why, pray tell, does it matter?
It matters because your highness must soon give up seeking the serpent. There is no true vengeance on a witless brute as there might be on a man, my prince. You weary yourself in vain.
My lord, Would you believe I had all but forgotten the serpent these 7 days?
Truly?
Yes. By Aslan's name, I swear it.
Then why, may I inquire, sire, do you continually ride upon the turn of eve to the northern woods? What lies there has caught your eye?
Oh, the answer is plain, my lord, for I have seen the most beautiful thing that was ever made.
Well then, of your courtesy, let me ride with you this eve, so that I may too see this fair thing.
With a good will, come.
Seems rather morbid for the prince to return here. What is he on about? Seeking of beauty in this glade. This place is cursed. I swear to Aslan himself.
Look, there she is, Drinian. Isn't she the most exquisite woman you ever saw? Oh, her beauty is second to none.
That dress. It's as green as poison. And she looks wicked,
Hush!
sire.
Do not speak such vile words of her. She is a fine lady. Huh? What? Oh, Drinian! You've spoiled it and frightened her away.
My apologies, your lordship. Shall we tarry on back to the castle?
Indeed.
I do not know what I just saw. But I know one thing. She is evil. And I must tell the king. But if I do tell the king, the prince may never forgive me. I do not wish to be a blab. Aslan, forgive me. Sire, you must promise me you will not pursue this woman. I fear not all is as it may appear.
I see no danger here, Lord Drinian. Pray tell me what crime I've committed by simply admiring her beauty.
Forgive me, sire. I only fear for your safety.
All is well, Lord Drinian, I assure you. Now, I bid you good night.
Yes, sire. Good night.
Drinian thinks there is danger in my pursuit of this woman. But he shan't deny me. No one shall deny me. spoil are you keeping down there, Mullgutherum?
Overworlders, Your Highness.
Overworlders? Bring them up to me, presently, and at once.
Please it Your Highness to remember.
It pleases my highness to be principally obeyed, you old mutterer. Bring them up. Welcome, overworlders. However, stay a moment, I cry mercy. I have seen you two fair children and this, your strange governor before. Was it not you three that met me by the bridge on the borders of Ettin's Moor, when I rode there by my lady's side?
You were the Black Knight who never spoke.
And was that lady the Queen of the Underworld?
Was she? Because if it was, I think she'd be jolly mean to send us off to a castle full of giants who intend to eat us. What harm have we ever done to her? I should like to know.
How so? If you are not so young a warrior boy, you and I must have fought to the death on this quarrel. I can hear no words against my lady's honour. But of this you may be rest assured that whatever she said to you, she said of good intent. Though you do not know her, she is a nosegay by all virtues. Truth, mercy, gentleness, courage, and the rest. I say what I know. Her kindness to me alone, who can in no way reward her, would make an admirable history. But you shall know it and love her hereafter. Now, I must ask, what is your errand in the deep lands?
Please, we're trying to find Prince Rillian of Narnia.
Rillian. Narnia. What land is that? I have never heard such a name. It must be 1,000 leagues from those parts of the overworld that I know. Perhaps it was but a strange fantasy that brought you seeking this. How do you call him? Billion? Trillion? In my lady's realm, indeed, to my certain knowledge, there is no such man here.
We've been told to look for a message on the stones of the city ruinous. And we saw the words, "under me."
You were the more deceived. Those words meant nothing to your purpose. If you had but asked my lady, she could have given you better counsel. For those words are all that is left of a longer script, which in ancient times, as she well remembers, expresses this. Though under earth and throneless now I be, yet while I lived, all earth was under me. From which it is plain that some great king of the ancient giants who lies buried there caused this boast to be cut in the stone over his grave, and through the breaking up of some stones, the creation of new buildings, and filling up cuts with rubble, he left only 2 words that can still be read. Under me. Is it not the merriest jest in the world that you should have thought that they were written for you?
Don't you mind what he says, there are no accidents, as our guide is Aslan, and he was there when the king of the giants caused the letters to be cut, and he knew already all the things that would come of them, including this.
This guide of yours must be a long liver, friend.
It seems to me, sir, that this lady of yours must be a long liver, too, if she remembers the verse as it was when they first cut it.
Very shrewd, Frogface. And you have hit the truth. My lady is of a divine race, and she knows neither age nor death. I am more thankful to her for all her infinite bounty to such a poor mortal wretch such as I. For you must know, sir, I am a man under the most strange afflictions, and none but the Queen's grace would have the patience with me. Patience, said I, but it goes far beyond that, for she has promised me a great kingdom in the overland, and when I am king, her own gracious hand in marriage. However, the tale is too long for you to hear fasting and standing. Ho! You there! Bring us wine and updwellers' food for my guests. Please be seated, gentlemen and young maiden. You shall hear it all.
Oh! I say, Frogface, your cup is empty. Allow me to refill it.
Much obliged.
And here, young sir, would you partake of another portion of the pigeon pie? Oh, I entreat you so.
Indeed I shall.
And you, fair maiden, please eat of these cakes. I believe they were brought up from some barbarous land far south.
Certainly. They're perfectly delicious.
I am glad to hear as much. Now then, you must understand, friends, that I know nothing of who I was and whence I came into this dark world. I remember no time when I was not dwelling, as now at the court of this all but heavenly queen. But my thought is that she saved me from some evil enchantment and brought me hither of her exceeding bounty. And this seems to me the likelier, because even now I am bound by a spell, from which my lady alone can free me. For every night there comes an hour when my mind is horribly changed. And after my mind, my body, first I become furious and wild, and I would rush upon my dearest friends to kill them if I were not bound, and soon after that, I turn into the likeness of a great serpent, hungry, fierce, and deadly. Or so they tell me. And they certainly speak the truth, for my lady says the same. I myself know nothing of it, for when my hour has passed, I awake forgetful of the vile fit, in my proper shape and sound mind. Saving that, I am somewhat a little wearied, mind you. But the Queen's Majesty knows by her art that I shall be freed from this enchantment. Once she's made me king of the land in Overworld and has set a crown upon my head. The land is already chosen. The very place of our breaking out, for her Earthmen have worked day and night digging away beneath it. They've gone so far and so high that they tunnel not a score of feet beneath the very grass on which the updwellers of that country walk. It will be very soon now that the updwellers' fate will come upon them. My lady is at the diggings tonight, and I expect a message to go to her. Then, the thin roof of earth that keeps me from my kingdom will be broken through. And with her to guide me and 1,000 Earthmen at my back, I shall ride forth in arms and fall suddenly on our enemies. I shall slay their chief men, cast down their strong places, and doubtless be their crowned king within the hour.
It's a bit rough luck on them, isn't it?
Oh. Thou art a lad of a wondrous quick working wit. For on my honour I had never thought of it so before. I see your meaning. But fie on gravity! Is it not the most comical and ridiculous thing in the world to think of them going about their business and never dreaming that under their peaceful fields and floors, only a fathom down, there is a great army ready to break out upon them like a fountain? To think they never would have suspected such an endeavour. Why, they themselves, when once the first smart of their defeat is over, can hardly choose but to laugh at the thought.
I don't think it's funny at all. I think you'll be a wicked tyrant.
What? Is our little maid a deep politician? But never fear, sweetheart. In ruling that land, I shall do all by the counsel of my lady, who will then be my queen too. Her word shall be my new law, even as my word will be law to the people we have conquered.
Where I come from, they don't think much of men who are bossed about by their wives.
Thou shalt think otherwise when thou hast a man of thine own, I warrant you.
I don't...
You see, with my lady, it is another matter. I am well content to live by her word. She, who has already saved me from 1,000 dangers. No mother has taken pains more tenderly for her child than the Queen's Grace has for me. Why, look you, amid her cares and business, she rides out with me in the overworld many a time, and oft to accustom my eyes to the sunlight. And even then I must go fully armed with my visor down, so that no man may see my face, and I must speak to no one. For she has found out by the magical arts that this would hinder my deliverance from the grievous enchantment I lie under. Is not that a lady worthy of a whole man's worship?
She sounds like a very nice lady indeed. I wonder what game that witch is really playing with the young fool.
Honestly, Puddleglum, I think, is a great big baby, tied to that woman's apron string. He's a sap, if I ever saw one.
Honestly, he's foolish. I swear he is the most self-centered and conceited, selfish pig I've met for a long time.
Indeed. It seems we mustn't let our guard down with this one.
My friends, my hour is now very near. I am ashamed that you should see me, yet I dread being left alone. The Earthmen will, of course, come in presently and bind me hand and foot to the chair. Alas, so it must be. For in my fury, they tell me I would destroy all that I could reach.
I say, I'm awfully sorry about your enchantments, of course, but what will those fellows do with us when they come to bind you? They talked about putting us in prison, and you don't like those dark places very much. We'd much rather stay here till you're better, if we may.
Oh, it is well thought of, but by custom, none except the Queen herself remains with me in my evil hour. Such is her tender care for my honour, that she would not willingly suffer any ears but her own to hear the words I utter in that frenzy. However, I could not persuade my attendant gnomes that you should be left with me. In fact, I think I hear their soft feet even now upon the stairs.
Goodness, what are we to do?
Quickly, go yonder through the doorway. It leads into my other apartments, and there either await my coming when they have unbound me, or if you are willing, return and sit with me in my ravings.
Yes, come along, children. Quickly now.
You'll know when to return. Now go!
Your Highness, we have come hither to bind you to the chair this evening.
Mullgutherum, I bid you welcome.
And where are the overworlders?
They have left to rest. They're my guests, after all.
Come, children. Away from the door.
You never offered us a wash before supper, selfish pig.
suppose so. Oh, I feel pity for the poor fool. To be bound nightly by those beastly Earthmen. Quite a frightful thought, I shouldn't wonder.
And are we going back to watch the enchantment? Or shall we stay here?
Stay here, I vote. I'd much rather not see it at all.
No, I say we go back. We may pick up some information and we need all we can get. For I'm sure the Queen is a witch and an enemy, and those Earthmen would knock us on the head as soon as they look upon us. There's a stronger feel of danger, lies, magic and treason about this land than I've ever felt before. We need to keep our eyes and ears open.
I agree with Puddleglum. Let's return to the night and see what all the fuss is about.
I suppose I have no choice in the matter. Lead on, Puddleglum.
I believe the Earthmen are gone. Now, come look there. We've been bound to a chair made of pure silver.
How awful.
Come in, friends. The fit is not yet upon me, but make no noise, for I told that prying chamberlain that you were in bed. Now, I can feel it coming. Quick, listen, while I'm still the master of my own mind. When the fit is upon me, if it may be that I shall beg and implore you with entreaties and threatenings to loosen my bonds, they say I do. I shall call upon you by all that is most dear and dreadful, but do not listen to me. Harden your hearts and stop your ears, for while I am bound, you are safe. But if once I were up and out of this chair, first would come my fury, and after, the shift into the loathsome Serpent. Do you trust one another? Can you refrain yourselves from releasing me? You must swear to me that no matter what, you will not cut these cords.
There's no fear of our losing to you. We certainly have no wish to meet wild men or serpents either.
I should think not.
All the same, don't be too sure of our odds. Let's be on our guard, given we've muffed everything else, you know. He'll be cunning, I shouldn't wonder, once he gets started. Do we all promise that whatever he says, we don't cut those cords? Whatever he says.
Rather...
There's nothing he can say or do that will make me change my mind.
Something's happening.
Enchantments! Enchantments! The heavy, tangled, cold, clammy web of evil magic, buried alive, dragged down into the sooty blackness. How many years has it been? Have I lived 10 years or 1,000 years in the pit? Maggot men all around me. Have mercy! Let me out! Let me out! Let me go back! Let me feel the wind and the sky! There used to be a little pool, and when you looked down into it, you could see all the trees growing upside down in the water, all the green, and below them, deep, very deep blue sky. Mercy, let me out of these cursed bonds.
Eustice, I can't bear it. I wish we had stayed away till it was all over.
Don't listen, Jill. Steady on.
Yes, hold fast, both of you.
Quick! I am sane now. Every night I am sane. If only I could get out of this enchanted chair! It would last, and I should be a man again. Yet every night they bind me, and every night my chance is gone.
What are we to do?
Puddleglum?
Stand fast. Steady on. We promise no matter what he says, we shan't touch the cords.
But you are not my enemies, as I am not your prisoner. Quickly, cut these cords.
But he looks so sane, Puddleglum.
I beseech you to hear me, please. Have they told you that if I am released from this chair, that I shall kill you and become a serpent? I can see by your faces that they have. It is a lie. It is at this hour that I am in my right mind. It is all the rest of the day that I am enchanted.
Nay, steady, steady. Don't listen. Don't even think of it. Should he get loose, maybe we could take him, but perhaps not. And then Jill will be left to face the serpent on her
You are
own.
not Earthmen or witches. Why should you be on their side? Of your courtesy, cut my bonds. Have mercy, please. Oh, you have hearts of stone. Believe me, you look upon a wretch who has suffered almost more than any mortal heart can bear. What wrong have I ever done you, that you should side with my enemies to keep me in such misery? And the minutes are slipping past, but you can save me. From when this hour has passed, I shall be witless again, a toy, a lapdog. Nay, a pawn and tool of the most devilish sorceress that ever planned the woe of man.
This is awful. Are we simply to stand here and let it go on?
Steady, Eustice.
And this night of all nights, when she is away, you take from me a chance that may never come again. Let me go, I say. Give me my sword. My sword! For once I am free, I will take such revenge on the Earthmen that all of Underland will speak of it for 1,000 years.
Now the frenzy's beginning. I do hope those nights are bad enough.
He'd have twice as much strength if he were free now. I'm not very clever with my sword. He'd get us back, I shouldn't wonder.
Beware! Beware. One night I did break free of them, but the witch was there to stop me. You will not have her to help you tonight. Free me now, and I am your friend. I am your mortal enemy otherwise.
Cunning, isn't he?
Once and for all, I adjure you to set me free. By all the fears and loves, by the bright skies of Overland, by the great lion's name, by Aslan himself, I charge you to free me!
Oh!
He's spoken Aslan's name.
It's a sign! The sign that Aslan gave to Jill.
Yes, you must free me!
It was the words of the sign. But who's to say if it is the sign? What if the evil queen made the knight learn the signs? She knew of the words. Under me, remember?
Truly, what good was learning the signs if they were not to be obeyed?
What are you on about? What signs? I have charged you in Aslan's name. Therefore you must free me. Our time grows short. Please!
Oh, hush, will you let us think? Puddleglum, what should we do? Do we trust that this is truly
Yes!
the sign?
Yes! Aren't you listening to me?
Should we risk getting it wrong?
Perhaps it is, or perhaps it's not. But Aslan never specified what would happen, or when, or how. Only that those were the words that would be spoken.
What are we to do? Can this really be what Aslan meant? Do we really know about this Puddleglum? If only we knew.
I think we do know.
Do you think everything will turn out alright if we do untie him?
I don't know about that. I only know that Aslan didn't tell Jill what would happen. He only told her what to do. That fellow will be the death of us once he's up, I shouldn't wonder. But that doesn't let us off from following the signs.
Alright, let's get this over with.
Come on, Eustice. In the name of Aslan!
Yes! In the name of Aslan! Yes! Yes! Now, give me my sword. My sword! Where is my sword?
What is he going to do?
You first. I shall destroy this wretched chair! Never again will your mistress use you for another victim. Lie there and rot, vile engine of sorcery. Now, where am I? What's happening? And who are you, my deliverers? Are you? Do I see before me a marsh wiggle? Is that a real live, honest Narnian marsh wiggle?
So you have heard of Narnia after all?
Had I forgotten it while I was under the spell? Oh, I suppose I had. Well, you can rest assured that it and all other bedevilments are over for now. And you may well believe that I know Narnia, for I am Rillian, Prince of Narnia, and King Caspian, 10th of his name, is my father.
Your Royal Highness, we have come hither for no other end than to seek you.
I thank you, Sir Marshwiggle. But who are you, my other deliverers?
I'm Eustice, who sailed with your father to the ends of the earth, in the islands of Ramandu.
I was charged by Aslan with the task of finding you, Your Highness.
I owe all three of you a greater debt than I can ever pay. But what of my father? Is he yet alive?
He sailed east again, before we left Narnia, my lord. And your highness must consider that the king is very old. It is 10 to 1 that his majesty must die on the voyage.
My father is old, you say? How long have I been under the power of the witch?
It's been more than 10 years since your highness was lost in the woods on the north side of Narnia.
10 years? 10 years.
Aslan, give me strength. Yes, I believe you. For now that I am myself, I can remember that enchanted life. Though while I was enchanted, I could not remember my true self. And now, fair friends, Wait a moment! I hear the Earthmen march. Does it not sicken a man? That padding, woolly tread! Upon the stairs!
What are we going to do, Your Highness?
Lock the door, boy! Or say... I have a better thought than that!
What's your plan?
I shall open the door and fool these Earthmen, if Aslan so gives me the wit. Now, get ready and take your cue from me. Come in, I implore you.
Leave us. Let none disturb us till I call, on pain of death. How now, my lord prince? Has your knightly fit not yet come upon you? Or was it over so soon? And why do you stand unbound? Who are these aliens? And is it they who have destroyed the silver chair, which was your only safety?
Madam, there will be no need of that chair. And you, who has told me hundreds of times how deeply you pitied me for the sorceries by which I was bound, will doubtless hear with joy that they are now ended forever. There was, it seems, some small error in your ladyship's way of treating them, and these my true friends have delivered me from such torment, as I am now in my right mind. And as such, there are two things I will say to you, my queen. Firstly, of your ladyship's design to make me head of the Earthmen regiment, and by their sheer force declare myself king over some nation that never did me wrong, I do thoroughly balk at. Your attempts to use me for murder of their natural lords and overtake the throne as a bloody foreign tyrant, I utterly abhor and renounce as plain villainy. And second, now that I know myself, I am the Narnian king's son, Prince Rillian. I'm the only child of Caspian X, a Liliandil Ramandu. Let it be heard and remembered that the blood of 1,000 stars flow through my veins proudly. I am the heir apparent to the throne of Cair Paravel, and therefore, madam, as it is my duty to succeed my father, I must depart suddenly from your highness's court, and into my own country. Now, I ask of your goodwill that my friends and I will be granted safe conduct, and a guide through your dark realm to the overlands of Narnia, if you please.
Exactly what does this woman find so laughable? I shouldn't wonder.
I would certainly like to know myself, dear Marshwiggle. What did you do? What is that?
There.
What?
That's much better. Tell me about this land you speak of. What was it called again?
Narnia! The land is called Narnia. Do not play the fool, madam, for you heard me utter its name mere moments ago.
Narnia. Narnia? I have often heard your lordship utter that name in your ravings. My dear prince, you are very sick. There is no land called Narnia.
There is no land called Narnia.
Yes, there is, though, ma'am. You see, I happen to have lived there all my life.
Indeed. Tell me, I pray to ask of you, where that country is?
Up there.
Where?
Well, I don't know exactly where, but... What?
Oh, is it the country up among the stones and mortar?
No. It is in the overworld.
And pray tell, where is this, how do you call it, this overworld? Where is that exactly?
Oh, don't be silly. As if you didn't know. It's up above, where you can see the sky, the sun and the stars. Why, you've been there yourself. We met you there.
I cry you mercy, young one. I have no memory of that meeting, but we often meet our friends in strange places when we dream. And unless all have dreamed alike, you must not ask them to remember.
Hang it all! Madam, I have already told your grace that I am the king's son of Narnia. I am Prince Rillian, and one day I will be king of Narnia, and...
Thou shalt be, my prince. You shall be king of many imagined lands thy fancies.
And I've been there too.
Ah, thou art a queen of Narnia too, I doubt not, pretty one.
I'm nothing of the sort. Eustice and I come from a different land, another world.
Why, this is a prettier game than the last. Do tell us, young maiden, where is this world? What ships and chariots go between ours and yours?
I can't quite remember. I suppose the other world must be nothing but a dream.
Yes, it was all a dream.
Yes, it was all a dream.
There never was such a world.
There never was such a world.
There never was such a world. But
There never was such a world but yours.
There never was such a world but yours.
I don't rightly know what you all mean by a world, but you can play that fiddle till your fingers drop off, and you won't make me forget Narnia, nor the whole of the overworld either. And we'll never see it again, I shouldn't wonder, because you've blotted it out, turned it to dark for all I know. Nothing is more likely, but I know I was there once. I've seen the sky full of stars blink into existence. I've seen the sun coming out of the sea in the morning and sinking behind the mountains of the turn at night. And I've seen it up in the midday sky when I couldn't look at it for the brightness.
Oh, Aslan be praised, and the blessings of the great lion be upon this great marsh wiggle. Dare I to ask how we could have forgotten such truths? Save it that we've all been dreaming these past few moments. Of course we've seen the sun!
By Jove, so we have. Well done, Puddleglum.
Yes, good for you, Puddleglum. You're the only one of us left with any sense, I believe.
Oh, What is the sun you speak of? Do you mean anything by the word?
Yes, we jolly well do.
Can you tell me what it's like?
May it please your grace to listen and hear me clearly. Do you see that lamp? It is round and yellow and gives light to the whole room, hanging off from the roof. Now that thing we call the sun is like the lamp, only far greater and brighter. It gives light to the whole of Overworld and hangs in the sky.
Oh, hangs in the sky? Hangs from what, my lord?
Well, Oh, Aslan, spare me. I cannot think clearly. How to describe it so?
You see, when you try to think out clearly what the sun must be, you cannot tell me. You can only tell me it is like the lamp. For you see, your sun is a dream, and there is nothing in that dream that was not copied from the lamp. For the lamp is the real thing, the sun is but a tale, a children's fairy tale.
Yes, I see now. Must be so.
There is no sun. There is no sun.
You're right.
You're right.
There is no sun.
You're right. There is no sun.
There never was a sun.
No, there never was a sun.
There is something right on the tip of my tongue. A name. I can barely grasp it. However,
And what, pray tell, fair maiden, is that?
there's Aslan.
Aslan? What a pretty name. What does it mean?
He's the great lion who called us out of our world, set us on a path, and gave Jill the task of finding the lost prince of Narnia.
A lion? What is a lion?
Oh, hang it all. Don't you know? Jill, how do we describe it to her?
I don't really know. I can't think.
Wait. I've got it. Have you ever seen a cat?
Surely. I like cats.
Well, a lion is a cat, only a little bit, mind you, just a little bit like a huge cat. And lions have manes. Well, not like a horse's mane, you know, it's more like a judge's wig, and it's yellow and terrifically strong.
I see. That we should do no better with your lion, as you call it, than we did with your son. And what I understand is this. You have seen lamps, and so you imagine a bigger and better lamps and call it the sun. And you've seen cats, and therefore you imagine a bigger and better cat and call it a lion. Well, 'tis a pretty make-believe. And look how good you are at copying from the real world. This world of mine, which is the only world. Although, to be truthful, it would suit you better if you were much younger. Even you, children, are too old for such play. And as for you, my prince, fie on you! Art thou not a full-grown man? Are you not ashamed of such toys? Come, all of you, put away these childish tricks, for I have work for you to do in the real world. There is no Narnia, no overworld, no sky, and there is no Aslan.
There is no Aslan.
Now, to bed, all of you, and let us begin a wiser life tomorrow. But first, to bed, to sleep, deep sleep, without foolish dreams.
Oh!
Puddleglum behind you!
What are you doing? Dare to touch my fire again, mud of filth, and I'll turn the blood to fire inside your veins.
One word, Mom. One word, Mom. One word is all you've been saying. It's quite right, I shouldn't wonder. You know, I'm a chap who has always liked to know the worst, and then put on the best face I can on it. So, I won't deny any of what you've said. But there's one thing to be said, Mom. Suppose we've only dreamed or made up all those things. Trees, grass, sun, moon, sky, and Aslan himself. Suppose we have. Then all I can say is, in that case, the made-up things seem a good deal more important than the real ones. And suppose this Black Pit kingdom of yours is the only world. I beg your pardon, but it strikes me as a pretty poor one. And that's a funny thing, come to think of it. We're just babies making up a game, if you're right. and that's a funny thing. But if 4 babies playing the game of make-believe can cause the foundations of your hollow world to collapse, well, then I'll stand by the play world. I'm on Aslan's side, even if there isn't any Aslan to follow.
Very good, Marshwiggle.
And I'm going to live like a Narnian, even if there isn't any Narnia to live in.
Exactly. Very well done,
That's
dear
right, Puddleglum.
Marshwiggle.
Well said, Puddleglum.
So I thank you kindly, ma'am, for our supper. However, if the 2 gentlemen and young lady are ready, we're leaving your court at once and setting out in the dark to spend the rest of our lives in search of Overland.
Not that our lives will be very long, I should think. But that's a small loss if the world is as a duller place as you say.
Yes! Well done, Marshwiggle.
True words indeed.
Beware! Look to the witch!
Foolish children, do not think you have won this round.
By Jove, she's transforming into the Great Serpent.
Look at her, skin as green as poison, and eyes black as the pits of the underworld. Jill, get behind us. Run!
Watch out! Don't go for them! Go for me! Go for me! Haha! Miss me! Whoa! I'm over here. Coward! Come for me!
All right.
This!
Get up! Release me!
I can't breathe. I have my arm free.
Look out!
Your Majesty, are you alright?
Yes, a little winded, my friend, but fair all the same.
and on my honor, gentlemen, I thank you.
So, it was the witch whom was truly cursed, my lord. Not you.
Indeed. And it would seem, after all this time, that my royal mother is avenged. This is undoubtedly the same beast whom I pursued in vain by the fountain, near the glade of Narnia, all those years ago. Oh, 'tis wretched to believe that I've been a slave to my mother's slayer all these decades. Yet I am glad, gentlemen, that the witch took her serpent form in the end. It would not have been well either, with my heart or my honor, to have slain a woman, even though she was evil. I do not wish harm upon any soul, good or vile.
Hold on a moment. In all the chaos, what happened to Jill?
There, over yonder by the table. I see her! Look!
Oh, dear me. I do hope I don't faint a blubber.
Are you all right, fair maiden? We've slayed the witch, and it's safe to come out now.
Yes, I'll be all right in a moment.
You're of high courage, milady, and I don't doubt you must have come from noble blood in your own world.
I wouldn't go so far as to say all that. However, many thanks the same, Your Majesty.
Aye, milady.
Are you alright, Jill? Really?
Yes, just a little shaken up.
Now come, friends. I believe the spiced wine survived. Let us refresh ourselves. Tend to... Oh, I'm sorry, Sir Marshwiggle. I don't believe I caught your name.
I am called Puddleglum, Your Majesty.
A pleasure then, Puddleglum. Allow us to tend to your burnt foot, my friend. I've got a few spare shirts we can wrap it in. And after that... to our plans. And... there. How does that feel? The bandages aren't too tight, right, Puddleglum?
Not at all. I'm a little sore, Your Majesty, but it feels fine all the same. Thank you.
Glad to oblige. Now then, with the witch dead, we should take this opportunity to plot our escape route. Although, a quick question. Can I ask how you three ended up here in her domain?
We were being chased by man-eating giants, and we sort of fell into this deep crevice as we ran. After that, we sealed up the entrance with a heavy rock and sort of wandered our way here, until that Earthman found us. He led us to the castle by boat.
So I see. I surmise going back the way you entered isn't an option.
Do you know of any other ways to overland, Your Highness? We just met you on the road to the giant's castle. Surely you recall how you got there?
Indeed I do. In the harbour beyond the castle lies a great ship, commissioned by the witch for our assault upon the updwellers' lands. Often, when we journey to the overworld, we would take the ship and our horses with it. However, I've never gone alone, and to do so now would be suspicious at best. The Earthmen would surely question us and imprison us if we dared show up, with the witch being gone.
Correct. So, what exactly is our other option, sire?
Well, there's the tunnel of diggings beneath the land I mentioned earlier. I know they're near completion, the chosen land for the invasion, and if we follow the tunnels there should be an entry between the earth and the air above. Enough, at least, for us all to fit through. In fact, I would bet my honour on it that perhaps the witch had come to tell me the entry point was broken through entirely, and that we were to begin our attack tonight. If not, as I can only guess her intentions in the now, it shouldn't be too troublesome to finish the job ourselves. After all,
I say, what in the world is that noise?
I've been wondering that for some time myself. I've never known this land to be one full of such uproar. By Aslan's names! It seems this silent land has found its tongue at last!
What's happening to the Earthmen? Is it they?
It's hardly possible. I barely heard the rascals speak, let alone shout with a loud voice, in all my years of bondage. It has to be some kind of new devilry, I swear.
What's that red light? Is the city on fire?
I'm afraid you're correct, Jill. The whole of Underland is ablaze. Aslan, spare us! What's going on?
If you ask me, I should say that the fires of the earth are breaking out for a new volcano, and we'll be caught in the middle of it. I shouldn't wonder.
Look there! The ship you mentioned, it's... Why is it coming on this way so quickly? No one's rowing it
Not
either.
only that, but it's way beyond the harbour on the far right side of the water. And all the other ships are following suit, driving further from the sea and into the city. By my head, it's rising. The water is rising. A flood is upon us. Oh, Aslan be praised that the castle stands on higher ground. But we must move. The water will no doubt rise quickly.
Why is this happening at all? All this fire and water and people running around the streets in terror.
I'll tell you why it is and what it is. That witch has laid a series of magical spells upon the land, so that whenever she was killed, at that same moment, her whole kingdom would come crashing down. I imagine she's the sort that wouldn't mind dying if she knew that the chap who killed her was going to be burned, buried, or drowned 5 minutes later.
Thou hast hit it, Puddleglum. When our swords hacked off the witch's head, one fell stroke ended her magical works, and now the deep lands are falling to pieces. My friends, we are looking upon the end of the Underland.
That's it, sire. Unless it should happen to be the end of the entire world.
And are we just going to sit here and wait for it to end?
Not by my counsel. However, I would prefer to save my horse Coal-Black and the witch's horse Snowflake. She is a noble beast, worthy of a far better rider than her former owner. They're both stabled in the courtyard. After that, let us swiftly get to higher ground and pray that we find an outlet to leave the Underland. The horses can carry the 4 of us, 2 on each of them, and if we quicken our pace, we should outrun
Agreed.
The flooding.
Gather your things, children. Swords at the hip, and ready.
Right. Come on, Jill. I found a jeweled dagger. I believe those are the witches, right? I figured you would use it as a weapon to defend yourself.
Thanks. It suits me perfectly.
There's a suit of armor over here, your Royal Highness. Will you not put it on?
I don't like the look of those, and I desire to never again see the inside of that armor. I wore it for ages as a witless man. It was a moving dungeon, and it stinks of dark magic and enslavement. I will, however, take the shield. Look, my friends. Not but an hour ago the shield was black and without device. And now look at this! Doubtless this signifies the favour of the great lion. And whether he means for us to live or die, let it be a reminder that Aslan himself goes before us. Now then, come, let us descend into the city and take on the adventure ahead. This way! Quick as you can!
It's behind you.
Should we go after that Earthman, sire? He saw us.
Nay, there's no time, Eustice. Come on, we're nearly to the courtyard.
Ho, my beauties! Steady coal black, snowflake. I promise you've not been forgotten. That's it. I've got you. Great Scott! Look at that!
Are those fireworks, Eustace?
Yes. But I don't expect the Earthmen to be celebrating or letting them off for fun. It's bound to be a signal of some kind.
And that means nothing good for us. I'll be bound.
My friends, fear not. When once you're set off upon an adventure such as this, you must bid farewell to terror and look to strength, honor, and hope. Look to Aslan, have courage, and follow me! The road ahead goes down steeply, and the water has climbed up only half of the greatest hill in the city. It must come so near to us in the next half hour, and come no nearer until the next 2. My concern is more of that. Courage, my friends! Now, ride on, and away we go to the tunnels! Back, I say, foolish knave, and flee if you can! We're nearly upon the outlet of the tunnels, my friends. Prepare yourselves. It will be dark and dense once we enter.
I'm not afraid. Not anymore.
Good. We'll need all the bravery we can muster ahead, for it seems another lot of Earthmen stand in our way.
Well, look on the bright side. Despite those fools, at least we didn't have to walk and slash our way here.
That's certainly true.
Goodness! We'd best hurry before the land collapses beneath us. But, I say, what to make of that one Earthman standing in front of the entry? What do you think, Puddleglum?
Me? Well, Your Majesty, I'd say before they scattered, those fellows were meaning to cut us off.
That was my thought as well. We could have never fought through so many. Thank Aslan they scattered, but suppose there's more within the tunnels.
What are you thinking, Your Royal Highness?
Well, I suggest we go yonder towards the edge of the tunnels, and you slip off into the shadows. The fellow ahead may follow us.
as we go ahead a few paces. And when the time is right, take him alive. We'll force him to act as our guide through the darkness and our mediator if we run into further trouble.
Won't that draw attention and make us targets? Won't they attack to try to save their friend?
Then I suppose we shall all die fighting in arms together. Now go, Puddleglum.
As you command.
Well done, Puddleglum. Now, speak up like a good, honest Earthman, and you shall go free once you have served your purposes. Or play the knave, and you shall be no better off than your brethren before you. Unhand its mouth, friend. It cannot speak.
And it can't bite either, sire. I'm lucky I don't have soft human hands. I beg your majesty's reverence. I'd be all covered in blood if he keeps chewing.
Truly. Just keep a tight grip on its shoulders, but let him speak. And you, foolish knave, one bite and you die. Let its mouth open up, Puddleglum.
Unhand me, filth.
Nay, I shan't. And I suggest you don't cry out again before you're hurt, or you will be hurt. See?
And that was good hunting, Sir Marshwiggle. And now then, who are you? And why did you try to stop myself and my companions from leaving? Are you unaware that the whole of Underland is nearly drowned?
My name is of little value, oaf. And you are the ward of our former evil mistress. Of course we shall stop you. She enchanted us to do her bidding, and at last we are free. But we mustn't let her minion of darkness destroy the overworld too.
I am her ward no longer, little gnome. And much like you, I too was enchanted. The witch was my enemy, and I've slain her, but not a few hours ago. Hence why we are at last free.
'Tis that true? That the witch is dead by your honor's hand?
Indeed it is. He cut her head off. And while I much appreciate good conversation, the ever-rising water level and the ash within the air doesn't sit well with me.
A fair point, Puddleglum. Listen, I implore you,
Sirrah. I am called Sirrah.
A pleasure. I implore you, Sirrah, to guide myself and my companions through the tunnels ahead to the surface. If you do this, I'll owe a great debt to you.
Well, if 'tis truth that you have killed the queen, then thou art a friend, not an enemy at all. Sirrah's happy to guide a friend through the darkness and leave this forsaken land.
Lead on, friend. Guide us through thin tunnels and lead my friends and I away from these dark lands. Nab those shovels, Sirrah. We may need them in case the outlet is not finished.
Yes, sire.
And how much further in must we go?
An hour's walk, sire. I promise you, it will not be long before we reach the outlet to the Updwellers' land.
Good. The sooner we leave, the better.
Do you think we'll reach the outlet to the overworld before the water catches up?
I should hope so, Eustice. I can only pray that if it is Aslan's will we survive, he'll make a way. I say, honest gnome, how exactly did you and your kin come to speak again? For all the decades I've lingered here under the witch's spell, I never knew any of you utter more than a single phrase or two while under her command.
Curious as well. Would you tell us your story to pass the time?
Certainly, your honors. I'll tell you all I know. About an hour before you came upon me, we lot were going about our silent business. Well, her business, I suppose. Sad and silent, same as we've done for ages and ages. Suddenly, there came a great crash. We looked about and realized we hadn't had a song or a dance or laugh in centuries. And we says to ourselves, why sad? And then we draw the conclusion that we must have been enchanted. So we threw down our burdens and loads and scattered. When there was this bright ray of light that came from the chasm all of a sudden, revealing the land we'd all forgotten we'd come from. Our land, the Sim.
You mean beneath Underland? There are more lands?
Yes, Your Honor. There are many lovely lands beyond this one. Where we are now, in the witch's country, is called the Shadowlands. It's a good deal too near the surface for us gnomes. But the witch forced us to do her bidding and abandon our home. For so long we didn't know who we were or whence we'd come from. All we knew was her dough and Grimwood. The world she put in our heads.
Her powers were quite strong. I recall the witch's world all too well.
Indeed. We couldn't think except whatever she wanted us to think, and we'd forgotten how to joke and even speak as ourselves. But when that crash happened, and the chasm cracked, suddenly we were caught up in the chaos of fire and water.
Well, I'm glad we freed those gnomes. It seems they're not all as bad as we thought, just like Prince Rillian when he was under the spell.
I do sincerely apologize for my wretched and unprincely behavior, fair maiden. I must have been quite beastly, especially towards you. On my honor, under better circumstances, it would not have played out in such a crude manner.
It's all right. You're forgiven. Besides, the witch forced you to play a rather awful role.
Thank you. I truly am indebted to your kindness. Huh? What's on your mind, Puddleglum?
Sire, as much as I believe this gnome was under the witch's control, much the same as you were, and I'm inclined to believe his story, you cannot tell me that you see the gnomes who attacked us as simple, honest folk. They looked as though they were preparing for battle, sire.
Puddleglum makes a fair point, I'll admit. But remember, Sirrah believed I was under the witch's influence, correct?
Yes. We figured the witch would be watching from her castle, and we were all trying to slip away to the Sim without her knowing. So of course we were prepared to defend ourselves, and it seemed true. However, when you lot came, armed to the teeth with swords, we figured she'd send her ward out to stop us. But you are a friend, your honors, and I'll spread the word. I promise.
I believe you. What say you, Puddleglum?
I suppose. I'll put my sword away, but best keep an eye still, sire.
As you wish.
Also, I beg you, please, seeing as I've helped you into the tunnels, might I ask if I could be obliged to take my leave and join my brethren back in Bisim?
Bisim? I know it is your home, but why not journey with us to the overworld?
Oh, too bright, your honors. I figured you lot only stayed up there because you couldn't find your way down here. to our land.
But we like it up there, with the sun, the clear air, and sky.
Really? You can't really like all that brightness in the world without a roof? The big and horrible emptiness called the sky sounds rather horrid to me.
But it's not horrid at all. And we do really like it up there.
Yes, listen. It's all well and dandy, but I'm very sorry to lose you as a guide. However...
Perhaps your honors would rather come back with me to the land of the sin below. It's much better than the land where you dwelled before. You'd be happier there than in the cold and unprotected overworld.
Well...
Truly, Sirrah. I have half a mind to follow you and take a chance that may never be given again. For I know not how many years will pass that I regret and remember it was within my power to probe and leap into such a grand adventure.
Sounds like quite the journey, Your Highness. And when my old friend Rippercheap the Mouse were here, he'd say we cannot refuse the adventure of Bism without bringing ruin to our honor.
A fair point, Eustice.
Now come now. Have some sense, both of you. We've come too far to turn back now and waste what time is left on adventures in the darkness below.
My father once sailed to the world's end, Jill. Truly, it would be a marvellous thing if his son ventured to the bottom of the
Prince
world.
Rillian, stop it.
Oh, the tales of grandeur I could bring back with me. The things I could accomplish. I've been trapped for so long, and my heart is tempted so to take on this offer after years of enslavement.
If I may so remind His Royal Highness, that if you wish to see your father alive and well, and I think he'd prefer it, we should perhaps turn away from thoughts of grandeur. There's no telling what lies within Bism's realm.
It seems my heart yearns and finds itself astray in Bism's unseen land. And I suppose there it will linger.
Your Highness, have reason, and recall that we should be on our way to the road for the outlet to Narnia by now.
You're right. Forgive my stubborn pride and shallow heart, friends. Sir Gnome, how shall we know we are on the right track?
Follow the lamps, your honors. You will find the outlet, I promise.
You have served us well, honest Gnome, and I wish you safe passage on your journey to Bism.
How long do the lamps burn for, I wonder?
Jill, bring Snowflake hither, and let's make our way forward. Come along, Coal Black. Ride on. Mercy on us!
No bother. I suppose there's no going back that way.
Now it's 10 to 1 that we've stayed far too long in these tunnels. But given our only option is forward, we must give it a try. Those lamps could very well give out in the next 5 minutes or so. I shouldn't wonder.
It is my fault. My own foolish heart is why we're trapped here now. Ugh! Come on, Coal Black. Make haste. Onward! I think I'll dismount and walk the rest of the way. Eustice, guide Coal-Black back, will you?
I can do that.
And I'll do the same. Wouldn't want another bump on the head from the earth above.
Your Highness, the lamps.
Curses! We're losing the lights. Follow them, quickly now.
Mercy on us! We've hit a dead end!
I'm sorry, friends. It seems we're trapped here, and there's no way out.
The lights are going out still. Oh, I don't want to be in the dark again.
It's going to be alright, Jill. We'll think of something.
Come. Stay as close as you can to one another.
Say, what is that?
What do you see, Jill?
Up there! Look, all of you! There's light coming from above!
And so it is! Whatever could the light be?
Not quite sure. A way up, perhaps? Puddleglum, would you put me on your shoulders and raise me up to it?
Of course! Come on! Can you see anything, Jill?
Nothing. Only... It's so bright, and I... Puddleglum, help! Something's got me. It's pulling me. Help!
I can't keep hold of her legs! Oh, Rillian! Eustice!
Quickly! Hold fast, gentlemen. Hang on, Jill. We won't let it take you.
I think I'm losing my grip! Pull! Keep! Steady!
Hold, gentlemen. Hold.
Jill! Jill!
Jill! Jill! No! Give her back to us, foul fiend!
Hang it all, Puddleglum. Why couldn't you keep your grip on her?
Oh, I don't know. Suppose I'm fated to be the death of Jill. Fated to muff and make a muck of things. Just as I made a muck of things at the start of our journey.
Truly, the fault is with me. I delayed us with my greed and stubbornness about Bism. If I hadn't, we would have found the outlet sooner and not be trapped in the darkness. Curses. This is the greatest shame and sorrow to fall upon us. We've sent Jill into the hands of an unknown enemy and stayed behind in a doomed cavern.
We'll be starved, drowned before long, I shouldn't wonder.
I hope wherever Jill has ended up, it's better than here.
I suppose, now that we've a second to breathe for who knows how long, I've been curious to know. What was the purpose of my father's voyage? You mentioned he sailed east again.
Only that he wished to see the places of his youth, and that he had hoped to meet Aslan, so that he might ask, who'll be king after him. Because he... well...
He never expected to see me again. And it seems that may very well be the truth. I'll never see my father or Drinian again.
I'm sorry, Your Highness.
As am I, Eustice. You know, he spoke of you often in his stories to me when I was a boy. I oft loved to hear his tales from the voyage he took to the world's end.
Did he? That's kind of him. Though, I'll be truthful, I wasn't fond of Caspian at the start. But by the end, he truly had become a good friend to me as much as the old reap was.
Truly, it must have been grand. And I must ask, is it true that Aslan turned you into a dragon? Did you really face down slave traders and a darkness beyond all understanding?
I say, pretty miss, where did you come from?
I came from the mountain, from the underland, and I was lost within it. But please, sir, you must help me. My friends are trapped down there too.
In the mountains? However and for what reason did you enter there, young one?
It's a long story, but please help me dig here and get them out. One of the men below is Prince Rillian.
Prince Rillian? Of Narnia?
Is this not Narnia?
Of course this is Narnia, darling. Where else would you be? Except that Prince Rillian has been missing for 10 years. And we all know he has since perished.
It is not so. You will see. Just help me dig my friends out.
Well, I don't rightly know if who you've got down there is our long-lost prince, young one. But if your friends are trapped, we'll help you. Nab the shovels, my friends, and dig.
What is that?
Is the tunnel collapsing? Has the end finally come?
Eustice? Rillian? Puddleglum? Can you hear me?
It's Jill! She's alive!
Jill! Thank goodness you're alright. What's going on?
It's Narnians, Eustice. We're under Narnian soil the whole time.
Hello down there. We've got a bit of strong rope here. Climb, sirs, and we'll pull you upwards.
Many thanks. And you're sure that the rope won't snap?
My goodness. Can he truly be who I think he is? Do my eyes deceive me?
My lord?
We are humbled, Your Majesty. For there is no doubt within my mind that you are, despite your wearied and weathered appearance, You are the true Prince of Narnia. The one and only Prince Rillian stands before us. After all this time, we are humbled, Your Majesty.
Please be still, my fellow Narnians, and bow to the true heroes before you, for they are my friends and rescuers. Jill, Eustice, and Sir Puddleglum. Without their bravery and courage and the power of Aslan before them, I would have remained lost to you for all eternity, to the ploy of an evil sorceress whom, as the White Witch many decades before her, sought to usurp power from the chosen sons of Aslan. But as the lion reigns, I am grateful to be alive. For Aslan entrusted these brave souls to restore what was lost, and for that, Narnia owes them thanks. May their names be remembered and their praises sung for all the ages to come, until the stars rain down from the heavens.
So, was it worth it, after all, to find him?
It was indeed, Eustace.
Come, my friends. Cair Paravel awaits us, and a grand feast shall be held in your honour to thank you for your unending courage.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
It is I who owes you thanks. I will miss you when you are gone, as I know you must return to your own land. But I'll never forget this adventure, for as long as I may reign.
And we will not forget you, Your Highness. Not as long as we live.
Thank you for listening to this fan audiodrama adaptation of the Chronicles of Narnia, The Silver Chair, written by C.S. Lewis, adapted for the script by Faith Jacobs, featuring the voice talents of Jack Morby as Prince Rillian, Emma Nicolau as Jill, John Combey as Puddleglum, Ross K. Fode as Puddleglum, with additional voices by Jonathan Partlow as Eustice, Lou Carter as the Faun, Mark Stihel as the Narnians, Faith Jacobs as the Narnians, Johanna Roberts as Sirrah the Gnome, Kessie as Liliandil, Nathan Hall as Mullgutherum, the Earthmen, and Lord Drinian, Johanna Roberts as the Serpent, and Faith Jacobs as the Witch. Additional music and sounds provided by bandlab.com and freesound.org. Original scoring created by Faith Jacobs. Additional music and scoring found on bandlab.com and freesound.org. The Chronicles of Narnia, The Silver Chair is a fan-made audiodrama non-for-profit series. All rights, characters, and respective properties belong to the C.S. Lewis estate. Thank you for listening. And until next time, enter the wardrobe, if you dare.